describe the building experience in Sigma as addicting. The Sigma interface is actually very similar to a spreadsheet-like UI, so with components on the page, like an input table or a regular table, then you add some actions to it, and it becomes actually very seamless to transition from just some elements on a page to a concrete workflow, and before you know it, you have a data app.
An input table lets you write data back to your warehouse, which is completely unique to Sigma. Sigma is the first to do that.
Actions are a way to build workflows on top of your data. So usually in a BI tool, you can analyze your data and you can present them in a dashboard, but you can't actually act upon them. So you can't insert new data or collect data through forms or invoke APIs to update external data sources. But with actions, you can actually do all of that within one BI platform.
With actions, you can add interactivity. So maybe you want to click on some cell and that opens a modal. Maybe you want to click on a chart and it runs some separate logic.
Apps in the past have actually been in the finance and sales forecasting areas, from month-end reconciliations to discounted cash flows to board reports. On the sales forecasting side, we see tons of pipeline forecasting and go-to-market forecasting. There's a lot of opportunity for customization and making things kind of fit perfectly for the way that it will work for your team.
Sigma is more intuitive and useful to use and welcoming. And we want to make sure that Sigma is not overwhelming to new users and existing users. We want to make sure that it empowers you, that you can take all these different set of actions, all these different workflows that you can do within Sigma.
So something that we recently added are stored procedure actions. So that means your workbook can now directly call a stored procedure that you've already defined in your data warehouse, and you can manipulate your data that way instead of having to manually do it over in Sigma.
We're currently working on if else, so it's unlocking different workflows that we currently don't have. So for example, if you were to call an action in the action sequence, and then after that action want to have a conditional logic within, and then have execute a different action afterwards. With if else, you were able to kind of consolidate that into one action sequence so that it's easier in terms of your building process.